Here is verse 4 of the second chapter of John's Gospel. Mary has just said to her son Jesus that the wine has run out, and as we were indicating in the discussion of the prior verse, it appears that Mary is trying to push Jesus a little bit. She has some sense that he has the power to do something about this problem, and she's trying to open the door for him to take charge, to step up, to do something in that connection. And if that's the case, then it does make a little bit more sense of what comes in verse 4. This is a variant as to whether it was in the original or not, but one way or another it makes sense here. Kai and lege, he says, aute, to her, the feminine, dative, singular, pronoun of autos. He says to her, ho Jesus, Jesus says to her. And then te, which can mean either what or why. The context has determinant. Here it's more likely what. What emoi, dative, of the personal pronoun first person. What to me, kai soi, and to thee, or to you, singular, gunai, woman. This is idiomatic, of course. It's a little difficult to translate. What to me and to you generally is understood as Jesus introducing just a bit of distance at this point between himself and his mother. Up until this point, of course, Jesus has lived at home. He's been in subjection to his parents. Joseph presumably is out of the picture at this point. Mary continues to have that human connection to him as his mother, his biological mother, and he has been subject to her and done as she has requested or commanded even. But now, for the first time, a little bit of distance is being introduced, as if to say that Jesus now has to go in his own direction and cannot continue to operate in a way that represents simply subjection to her authority. And so what do I have to do with you, or in what sense am I continuing to be subject to your direction, and so on, even in connection with this request she makes that Jesus should do something about the wine that's run out. The use of gunai here, a woman, sounds a little bit harsh, of course, and that was idiomatic in the language of the day. It wasn't a way of, in any way, discounting her importance or dismissing her, or certainly not insulting her. You remember Jesus uses the very same term for Mary when he's on the cross, and he assigns the care of Mary into the custody of John, the gospel writer. So we shouldn't assign anything more to this than simply that it was a common way of referring to one's mother in this particular time in history, and we'll just leave it at that. This adverb, upo, means not yet. Heike is the simple third person singular of heiko, which simply means I arrive. So this is the third person singular. It arrives. It's the present, so it's he hora, the hour, mu, of me, not yet, arrives. The hour has not yet come. We find Jesus making a similar comment on other occasions. My hour has not yet come. My hour has not yet come. Interestingly, when Jesus is on the cross, he declares then, for the first time really, his hour has come. The hour for the Messiah to really be made known, the hour for his true identity to really be brought out and demonstrated, not only for the time then present, but for all history subsequent, was when he accomplished his atoning work there on the cross, in the burial, the resurrection, the ascension, of course. That was the hour. Before that, it was not appropriate that the full disclosure of Jesus' true identity should be made known. And though certainly those close to him began to figure it out, you are the Messiah, was the comment made by Peter at Caesarea Philippi, yet really, even at that point, it wasn't altogether clear what it meant for Jesus to be the Messiah. And so at this point, Jesus is saying, it's not time for me to start performing big miracles in order to make a clear declaration for everybody in attendance as to who I am. And Jesus does go ahead and perform a miracle, but he does it, of course, in a way that's rather surreptitious, quiet, under the radar, and not designed to be conspicuous as to who did it, even, let alone what it meant that he did it.